Right, Sydney home values have doubled since the global financial crisis, with real estate prices rocketing $10,000 a month in Sydney. Now, Sydney's median home price soared 15.5% in the past year alone to hit a record $852,000, with home buyers, now this is the worry, home buyers are spending more than 50% of their pay on mortgage payments. That's a worry, because years ago you couldn't go over 30%, but it's now up to 50%. Let's see what's happening locally. Pete Russell from Integrity Real Estate. There you go.
Good morning, Barry.
How's those figures compare with down here?
Yeah, we're seeing a very similar sort of figures, similar figures right down the eastern seaboard from what I believe. Again, since the GFC, we've certainly seen massive price growth, particularly the last 12 months, where we've probably seen the last 12 months half of the growth since the GFC. So we're seeing a massive influx of people down the coast, the retirees in particular, that are coming down this way, and they've got cash money from usually a large acquisition or large sale in Sydney, and they're not worrying about finance. They're not worrying about previous sale records in areas. They just want what they want, and they've got plenty of money to do it, and they're buying it.
But for locals who are thinking of selling, when is the right time this year to go to the marketplace?
That's a very interesting question. It depends on for what reason you're wishing to sell. If you're looking to downsize into a smaller property, maybe you're a retiree yourself, I'd be hanging off a little bit.
So what's the rationale of that?
Well, the more expensive asset, as prices go up, the more expensive property goes up more. So if you're selling $1 million home, if we use percentages, you've got a $500,000 house and everything goes up by 10%, well, it'll go up by $50,000. If you're looking to go into a $300,000 house, well, that house will go up by only $30,000. So you could hang off a little bit and make more from the more expensive asset if you're looking at downsizing.
So when do you strike?
When do you strike? Very good question. We see no change in the marketplace this year, even with the interest rates being potentially put up a little bit by the banks, independent of the Reserve Bank. We're seeing growth come from Sydney. Obviously, the people that are moving down here, we think that basically that'll continue all this year. The honest to God answer is every now through winter, through spring, through summer. It used to be that people sold in spring because the birds were singing, the grass was green, the flowers were out. But nowadays it's basically, especially in this Greater Nowra area, it's predominantly all year. Coastal areas may be a little bit more lending themselves to a spring and summer marketplace, but it could be a lot stronger in spring, summer 2017 is what it is now.
You drive around the area and it seems as though real estate signs don't stay up for very long on properties which are for sale. How does it compare now to, say, a couple of years ago?
Very quick. We've seen time on market, we call it. We've seen time on market in the last in the last 12 months, half from what it was from the previous 12 months, where in a lot of cases that we'll have properties that are often sold as soon as we have a contract in before the sign can get erected. As soon as the contract will come in, then we obviously can show people properties. We ring up people and literally you can have people buying it before a sign can get erected on the property.
What about the rental market? It's traditionally fairly tight around here. What's it like at the moment?
Yeah, again, critical levels because of the fact that we've seen a lot of people move to the area. The area is experiencing a great population growth from Sydney Basin, from out west, from all over the place. And that's putting a lot of demand on rental accommodation. People that are moving down here that can't find a house to buy, because that is a realistic situation at the moment. They can't find a home to buy. They're renting, and that's putting our rental lists at critical shortages. We've got great people that are turning up to rental accommodation that wish to rent, and you might have 4 or 5 applications on a home that you couldn't fault. Yet a landlord has to choose one, and the other 4 people can get quite upset with the fact that why have I been knocked back? They haven't been knocked back. It's just that the landlord can only choose one person. If the landlord had 4 properties, they'd probably put 4 different apples in.
The situation in Sydney, and I'd like to refer to Sydney because it has its impact here.
Yes.
40,000 new homes are needed in Sydney each year to cater for buyers. There's only 31,000 being constructed, so you're going to have that 9,000 shortfall, which is going to boom later. Down here, What's our situation? We've got a critical land shortage.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. And again, without pointing your finger squarely at council, council's got a very strategic plan. Their strategic plan, their local environmental plan, has areas geared for where they'd like to go. Number 1 area, number 2, number 3, number 4. Now, if you haven't got willing sellers of the large parcels of land in that area 1, then everything gets delayed, and that's what we've seen over the last 5 to 6 years.
So how long is it going to take before land availability in this area reaches a critical situation?
It's there now. Frankly, we've been there for the last 12 months that realistically we've seen land prices increase in some cases in the last 2 years by 70%. Now, if we keep seeing land prices increase by that level, because it's just a shortage. It's an absolute shortage. North of the river is a particular area where there's very little land available. We used to have quite a good basin of land availability in Twin Waters and the areas out of Warringah. That's not the case anymore. We're down to less than 100 blocks in those areas. Bayswood Estate out at Vincennia was an area that was geared to take probably 5 to 6 years to sell. They'll have that done in the next 12 months. It'll be sold off completely.
So, for example, some of that land out along Canberra Road, which is earmarked for residential expansion, on Mossvale Road.
Yes.
How long realistically do you think before that'll be done?
We're probably looking at realistically 2 to 3 years. It'll be that long because for a start the land hasn't been bought by a developer, and I don't believe the current owners have the ability to do the major expense of doing the subdivision themselves. Then there has to be a development application lodged to Shoalhaven City Council, which has to be processed, and that will take some time. Then you've got to get the land actually constructed, the roads, the services put into there, and then people can start to look at after it registered being built. So that will take some time. Some of the cases, okay, let's put in some roads and then just build a house.
So without exaggerating the situation, we really are in a pretty critical situation.
Absolutely. And while this continues with the shortage of land available, we will see prices keep going up and affordability be at an all-time low for local people to buy a home, which is a real concern for me and my kids and a lot of the families out there that would like to see their kids get into the market.
See, I look at that land that Halloran's got on the way to Kilburn. Now, how long's that been going on for? When will it finish?
We've had this conversation quite a few times, Baz. Look, I would like to see it in my lifetime.
Yes.
And I know that it sounds quite strange being 43, but realistically that could be another 10 years away from happening. At the moment, because of the issues environmentally with that land and the lack of drive from different political parties to see it happen.
What I can't understand is that the state government makes a monster out of stamp duty.
And are still.
And, you know, that was going to go when the GST came in. But, nevertheless, it's still there. Why wouldn't the state government be pushing along planning department to get these projects over the line?
Well, the state government can once it's moved from a local level, but it has to move past the local level first. And at this stage, we have to see there's a lot of pieces of the puzzle. We have to see willing participants in the sale of the Globo land, the original land. You've got to see them willing to sell it for the price that a developer can make dollar. Otherwise, they don't do it. That's right. So you've got to see that happen. Then you've got to see a development application lodged. Then you've got to see that go to a local government council. And if the developer's not happy with it, then they can push it to state government from there. But all these steps take time and cost money. And like I said, with council being very fixated on what areas they would like to see grow, like I've been told the Munda-Myer area right near the university has been on the board for the last probably 10 years to be the area to grow next. And yet we're yet to see one block of land, we're yet to see one DA application to be actually processed on that and one block be produced. It's been that long in happening out that area, but while we're fixated on different areas and working out, and there's a strategic reason for that. They can't obviously put a subdivision into an area where there's no sewer and water and facilities for it. So it is a complicated thing, but while we're seeing this shortage of land, home prices will keep going up, and we're not going to see that change.
I hope we can talk on a regular basis this way through video and also through our radio program.
Love to. Anytime, Jim.
Next time, I'd love to get into some of the commercial issues around here.
That will be a long conversation.
Look forward to it. Pete Russell from Integrity Real Estate.